So I guess I will try to stitch these ideas together. I don't really know how it's going to come out if I were to be completely honest. I know lately I've been speaking a lot about being present and how important that is, and how it's really important to invest in yourself because you are the most important investment. But let's talk about being present and why that's so important, and why I feel like that's the sweet spot to be in. You know, why is it so important to be present? Um, I've noted that when you are present, everything is clear. Um, what do I mean by that? When you are clear, you can see everything as it is. You know, it's kind of akin to staring at a really calm lake. You can see the surface and you can see down into the depths of the lake when you're present. You know, everything becomes very clear to you. You know, you're very clear on how you're feeling, how you're thinking, and also you're very clear on recognizing energies around you and differentiating them from yourself. You're also very, I don't know, just like this really wholesome sense of clarity when you're profoundly present. Not only that, I notice that when you are present and clear, you have more control over how you respond to life. You know, you're no longer reactive to it, you respond to it. In fact, a lot of times you can, because you are present, most likely you are able to regulate a lot of things within yourself, and you can, I want to say, like I said, respond to life versus react to it. You know, and then you trust the process versus trying to control it. I think anytime you want to control something, it's because you're afraid and you're in a place of not trusting the divine plan or the divine orchestration of events, if that even makes sense. Another interesting thing that, and this is the part that I'm not sure if I will be able to stitch it together in a way that is understandable, is I recognize that when you are present, I think being present is equivalent to being at a balance point within yourself, being at a being at or in a neutral space. You know, you're not like on this side or that side. You're like right here, right now, like right here, right now. And I've noted that time moves differently. And I know time is a man made construct. What I am saying, and I'm going to use the term time because it's just easier to explain what I'm trying to say, is time travel is absolutely, I want to say, more, what is the word? You're able to travel to different timelines and dimensions in your mind in a conscious way, if that even makes sense. And it's weird because I heard my acupuncturist tell me that time is speeding up, which I have noted. I've also been coming across messages where people are going from a three-dimensional reality to a five-dimensional reality, and when people raise their vibration or their level of consciousness, the shift will happen, and things that you normally would interact with would like disappear. And I have seen such shifts. Like I have literally witnessed and experienced such shifts from like, it's weird. I don't even know if I can really explain this. Like things that I used to interact with, as I raise my vibration, they're just gone. Like even when I drove around today, it's just like buildings that would normally have like, I guess, shops in them were completely empty. And then I would drive in a particular part of town, and next thing you know, there's this brand new building that's erected and I was just like, whoa, where did this come from? You know, like, I don't know, it's really weird. And then I think this applies to people as well. And in the same vein, I think you recognize that change is the only constant in life. So, like for me, I've mentioned in other videos that for me, I feel like even though I've only been on Earth in this dimension, time, space, reality for 4 decades, I feel like I have lived many lifetimes within that expanse of space and time. You know, like because I like to break cycles. I don't like to stay in a circle. I like to move in a spiral. Does that make sense? So, like people who stay in a circle, I feel like they're kind of stuck in a cycle and they never really move. They never really grow. They never really evolve. And what keeps them in that space is fear, fear of the unknown, fear of trying something new, fear of failing, you know? And so they stay in this circle, this loop, you know? But for me, it's just like I've spent most of my life doing this, you know? So it's like you go in a circle and break it and then you rise up, you know? Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. And then obviously, when you elevate from like one, from like, say, like this bottom tier, and you elevate to another tier, these people fall away and disappear from your consciousness or your reality. And I think that's what that means when we're moving from a third dimensional reality to a 5-dimensional reality, and then things that used to exist in our lives are just gone like that because we've shifted our consciousness, you know, and we're on a different timeline. I don't know if that makes sense. But also, if you like take a moment to just kind of like sit with yourself, which I do often, and you just kind of like observe your mind and your thoughts and your feelings and your sensations, which I do often, it's weird how like a memory, like say a song comes on that you would listen to like in your childhood, that song will totally be a reference point to transport you into another timeline, another dimension in your mind that exists, you know? So it's still there. It's all still there, you know? Even like higher dimensions of reality, I think they're already there. It's just, do we have access to it? Have we done the work to remove the veils, to remove the blocks? You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness, I don't even know if I'm making sense, honestly. But yeah, that was really a hard thing to try to stitch together and formulate into words, if I were to be completely honest. And that is why I make these videos, because most people won't understand anything that's coming out of my mouth. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why we're when you're profoundly like present, you're a time traveler. You can travel to different dimensions in your mind. You can visit different timelines at will, you know, because you're being present. You're not letting like the things take you on a ride that's uncontrollable. It's like when you're present, that's when you are your most powerful, you know, because you can consciously and willfully respond and travel to different timelines and dimensions within yourself because it all exists in you. I think, yeah, I'm going to stop it, guys, because honestly, it's just going to get super complex and I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense, as usual. But if you learned something cool, if you didn't, that's cool too. Blessings to one and all. Amen.